Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. It's a brand new year, and today we're going to get started with a brand new dish. So we're going to dive into some cabbage, some kale, some potatoes, and some breakfast turkey sausage. That's right, breakfast turkey sausage. Why not? Wait until you taste this dish. I can't wait to start making it for you. If you like these dishes, please like and subscribe. Let's get started. Okay, so we have one bunch of kale. We've got one head of cabbage. We've got a couple of potatoes, one whole onion. We've got our little pack of turkey sausage, and we've got some vegetable broth. Now you can see there I was going to throw in some quinoa and rice, but I decided not to because we have the potatoes. So no need to have potatoes and rice. So first we're going to start with making sure all of our produce has been washed and cleaned. So we're going to start with cleaning the kale first. And I'm just going to run a bowl full of cold water. I'm going to break up the kale because I want nice large pieces. So I'm just going to break it with my hand. And I'm going to run this bowl full of water, and I'm going to rinse and drain the kale at least 2 to 3 times to make sure all of the residue or all of the, debris that may be left over is washed clean from the produce. Again, you might want to do this 2 to 3 times. Then we're going to do the same thing with our potatoes. We're going to fill a bowl of cold water. We're going to rinse the potatoes off. Sometimes potatoes can be very dirty. So we want to rinse off all of the dirt and all of the residue from the potatoes before we peel them. And again, I want to rinse and drain these 2 to 3 times before I begin to cut them. Now, as you see here, they've been cleaned and I've already peeled the potatoes. I've already begun slicing them. We want to cut them up into nice big chunks of potatoes. They don't have to be small, but if you prefer them small, that's fine. But when you start to cook them down, they'll get really soft, and we still want to have nice big chunks in this dish. We want to rinse and drain the potatoes a couple of times as well until all of the starch and the residue is rinsed off and our bowl of water becomes nice and clear. Now we have our cabbage. We're going to go ahead and cut this in half, and then we're going to chop this up into nice big chunks as well. We're going to cut around the core of the cabbage because we don't need the core, so we're going to just toss that out. I'm told that if you keep the root of the onion on while you're cutting it, you won't have as much tearing or crying while you cut the onion. I've never really paid attention to it or not, but we're going to leave the root of the onion on there and we'll see. Well, I am cutting the onion. So far, no tears, so maybe there's some truth to it. I don't know. So now that we have all of our produce diced and cut up, we have our onions cut up, we have our kale and our potatoes and our cabbage, we have our turkey sausage on deck. I think we're ready to get started. So we're going to start with a nice warm skillet. We're going to toss in the whole package of the turkey sausage. And turkey sausage to me can be kind of, I guess, tough. So you want to kind of work hard to break it apart so that it's fine little pieces, and you want to make sure it's like ground turkey. So you want to work hard to break those pieces up before they cook down, because once they cook down, it's hard to break it up. So you want to do it while they're kind of still raw. As you can see, I've broken it up really nicely, and I'm going to go ahead and add in the onion. Going to just stir it around for a bit, and then we're going to add in our potatoes. This is completely optional. You can add in some seasoning, salt and pepper if you like. I think the turkey sausage gives off a lot of flavor, but I did add in a few of my own little everyday seasonings. Some salt, some pepper. I added in some, of course, crushed red peppers. Can't go wrong with a little bit of granulated garlic. And of course, my Cajun seasoning. Okay, so now we're going to just stir it all around, blend in all of those extra seasonings to make sure everything is coated very well. So now that it's cooked down a bit, we're going to go ahead and add in our vegetable broth. And this is also going to give it some flavor. It's going to add a little bit more salt, so we don't want any more salt. And we're going to go ahead and stir that around, and this is going to add the savoriness to this dish. So we're going to cover it and let that cook down for about 10 to 15 more minutes. And look at that. That looks delicious. You can see the savoriness. Now the potatoes are nice and soft and tender, and it's time to start adding in our kale and cabbage. So I'm just going to toss in the big chunks of kale. I'm going to toss in some cabbage as well. And we're just going to mix that around a little bit until the vegetables have sort of steamed down. And then we'll begin to blend it into the dish. Okay, now that we have it all blended in there, we're going to go ahead and cover it and let it cook for another 5 to 10 minutes. And while it's cooking, you may need to add water from time to time to make sure it stays juicy. Sometimes the potatoes can absorb all the juice. But look at that. That is nice and juicy and flavorful. So we're going to go ahead and plate it up so we can dig right in. You see those nice large pieces of kale? You can make them smaller if you like. I just wanted it to be nice and chunky. My mouth is watering. This is going to be so good. Voila. Oh, this is so delicious. We've got our sausage, our kale, our cabbage, potatoes. I topped it off with a nice chunky piece of croissant just to give it some more depth. I hope you guys enjoy this meal. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Bon appetit.